for the UK TV launch.
The only orchestra. Oh, what are you not? You almost came across.
I was trying to put my shoes on. Well, because I'm proper little, aren't I?
Yeah.
So I'm proper. Yeah.
I'm proper big.
Yeah, you're proper tall, aren't you?
How are you? All right?
I'm all right, thank you. This is me who boasts I never get a cold.
Uh-oh, you got a cold?
Ooh, stay away. I got the germs.
Uh-oh.
I've been boasting to everyone I don't get a cold.
I had it last week.
Stupid.
I'll give you some things to take.
Oh, yeah, I'll have the things.
Knocked it on the head straight away.
Fabulous.
Yeah, let Leonie loose for the next hour. Good to have your company. I'm only here for a couple of minutes to show you some of the items and stuff. But Carabel, you're making a real name for Carabel. I mean, they're known over here anyway. Yeah. But you're kind of.
Do you know, it's really exciting because we seem, I don't know, but we seem to see them more and more and more, which is really fabulous. You know, they came and demonstrated when we did Ali Pala, which was first show they'd ever done in the UK. They're beautiful. I love them because they're different. They're really unusual. The quality is fantastic.
Right up my street as well. I love things that are quirky, that are different. So does Leonie too. And all of these are brand new today from Carabel. They are on an extended delivery because they're coming from France for you. They're a French company. So you'll get them shortly after next Thursday. 8-day extended delivery is what we're looking at. And Bridget Coopston is the artist behind a lot of these in here today. And they're not sheets, they're actually individual foam back stamps, aren't they?
They've all been pre-mounted, so nice and squidgy, so easy to actually stamp out. They've all been cut, so you're going to get a really nice pristine cut. And I love the fact the white rubber. I must admit that is a bit of a signature now for Carabel. And they do, I don't know, for some reason it just makes them look even better. They're very intricately cut. They're very good quality.
As well.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Normally red rubber is what you see, or grey rubber. But the white ones, if you're looking for your Carabel stamps, they're going to stand out.
Yeah,
they really are.
Absolutely.
This is our first set, which is lovely. You've got the rain clouds, you've got the rain drops. I love the verses on this as well. Anyone who thinks that sunshine is pure happiness has never danced in the rain.
Absolutely.
Have you ever danced in the rain? I bet you have.
Yeah. I like a little bit of rain. It doesn't hurt anyone, does it?
On.
Yeah. I went walking on the beach actually in the Brighton in the rain just the other day, which was lovely. Yes, indeed.
So there we go. So you get the raindrops, you get the clouds, and you get those two sentiments as well.
Can I show you this one? Because not loads and loads and loads of samples. However, within the samples there's a lot going on. With this one, we've got brushos on the show. Get ahead for the brushos. We've got a massive stamp that you can just see in the background. But here, what I have done, we've also got rice paper, and I've actually layered the rice paper up. So I've stamped on the rice paper and layered it up, which has allowed me to layer up these images, which I really, really like doing because I think it's a little bit different. And then I've just put the sentiment there. I like it because you've loads going on. I mean, get ahead of us. We've got the stencils on here. We have got that massive stamp, the A4 stamps, which always sell out. But I love this set. Especially, I'm nicking it away. I did pick it specifically because of the sentiments, to be honest. I love the quirky sentiments that they put in. But yeah, everything, I love it. And actually, we've got a good background stamp that you'll notice fits really well with these designs. They all make sense, they all tell a story.
Well, we're being told that lots of you are shopping ahead, you're going online. Approaching a quarter of this set has gone already, and there are 2 shows today with Leonie, so get in quick with Carabel. There may be certain ones that aren't available later on today. So.
Absolutely. Sorry, I took that off you because it's still wet.
Oh, was it? I thought it was a bit squidgy.
And I noticed your thumb sinking down. I thought my 3D form is losing its 3D-ness.
Let's take a little look at the next set then. Leonie loves her hearts. I mean, you've in your own collection have done a few hearts, haven't you?
Yes. I love these because now these are a little bit cool. The reason I love these, they're a solid stamp. So you get outline stamps, but then you get these that are more of a solid, so it means that you can layer your colours up within the stamp, on the actual stamp. Lots of nice scribbly detail, which is again absolutely beautiful. And of course you've got your sentiment. You're going to like this. I see your true colours, and that's why I love you.
That's the Cyndi Lauper song, isn't it?
Cyndi Lauper, yeah. I saw Cyndi Lauper not last year, year before at the Glastonbury.
Oh, right.
She was tremendous.
Was she?
I used to like her when I was a kid, and I thought, oh, what's this?
She's a bit off the wall, isn't she?
Oh, yeah, she's fabulous.
Love her.
Fabulous.
Well, there you go. That's a sentiment from that song then, which is lovely. And you get all three of the hearts. It's almost like they've been Zentangled, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. They've got real detail in. Beautiful, beautiful for stamping. And you can see there on the black, mixing the colours up. You know, that's a gorgeous thing about it. You've got your different colours on that one stamp, and that's a lovely thing about having a nice solid stamp. Love those. Obviously, I love them all, so I'll keep saying that. I'm doing your head in.
20% nearly of those has gone as well. The next
It's going to be one of them, isn't it?
It's going to be one of them. I think it is going to be one of them.
Uh-oh.
These are more hearts, but different.
Yeah, I love these.
And you've got 4 stamps in this set. So you've got the little baby heart there with a script behind it. You've got the bigger heart. I'll just show you that one and that one.
Yeah.
And then you've got the sentiment and a squiggle as well. So that squiggle there is that there. And then the sentiment says, follow your heart, but take your brain with you.
Do you know what's really, really spooky, Dave?
What's that?
Right, for Christmas, I bought Paula. It's just a piece of wood with a sentiment on it, but I loved it. It's beautiful. It looks like driftwood, you know,
right,
printed
yeah,
on.
like it.
And it was really cool. It's that sentiment. And I didn't realise. I picked the short ages ago. Didn't realise. And when I stamped it out, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's spooky.
How spooky is that? Right, what you'll notice is that heart matches. Can you see? It matches. So the whole collection goes together. It's really nice how everything goes. This is my favourite in this collection.
I'm not surprised.
I adore this one. And what you can see here, I tell you what, it's that individual swirly one. I really, really love it. I think it's fabulous. So I've done, get your wonderful thingies, your brushios. Yes. That's how I've done all the backgrounds. And this, obviously, you've got layers. So all the products, I've used layers. The big stamp that we've got coming up, the A4 stamp, this is so easy because look, that swirl, you can have it flowing.
Because it makes them it makes the hearts look like kites now, doesn't it? Or balloons or something like that.
And it joins them. It's a really, really good joining stamp. I really like that. That's going to be my first demonstration.
You wait until you see the A4 stamp coming up in a second, though. Approaching a third of the stock of these is gone. We've only just gone on air, for goodness sake. £15.99. These are not going to be around for long. The next set, totally different.
Oh, they're stunning.
The feathers. You've got your peacock feather, and then you've got the other feather as well.
I love these. I love them because they're different. Like you'll notice round the edge of that feather, it looks like writing.
Yeah,
you know, there's detail in this, so if you want, you can colour it in. Obviously, makes a gorgeous background. Really, really beautiful, and the good size stamps as well, aren't they?
Really, really good. And again, designed by Bridget. She's obviously got a really great eye for detail and design. So there are both the feathers there for £14.99.
And I've used the same sentiment, so it's the follow your heart. So I've used the same sentiment from the previous one because they mix and match. Get ahead of us. You'll see there the stencils. We've got the stencils on the show as well, the beautiful stencils. And I've used them in nearly every demonstration, actually, nearly every card. But they are there, so get ahead of us for those.
Now, what about backgrounds? This next one, great backgrounds. And it's like 3 different backgrounds in one, really.
Yeah,
You've got your musical notes, which I'm a massive fan of. You've got almost like your Hessian, it's like a blown-up picture of fabric. And then I suppose that's the
stars.
Stars, yes.
Yeah. You've got script, you've got your stars, you've got... What I love about this, you can pick tiny elements out of it if you want. You can layer it up. But what I really love about this one is, if I show you, so for instance, show you that one, look, if you look at the designs, they match. So that matches there. Yeah. So that one goes. If I show you that one, again, everything matches. That's your circles. It looks like punchella, whatever it's called. But you've got your stars in those. Those stars look like that's the waste out of those stars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
It all joins together.
And that is such a cool stamp because it's such a big stamp. It means you can do loads with it. It really creates a big background quickly.
And also, if you just want to use part of it, you don't have to use the whole thing if you don't want to. Now, talking of big, this is one of the biggest stamps I think I've ever seen. If this isn't a sellout in the first hour, I'll be amazed.
Me too, actually. These always sell out. The A4 stamps always sell out. I adore these. They're such cool stamps, so the A4 stamps. Now, they're very good quality. You'll get a pristine stamped image. They feel ace.
They do.
Aren't they good stamps?
Whether you're using the whole thing or whether you're just kind of pressing certain aspects of it, whatever you want to do, whether you're actually kind of stamping into like texture paste and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it can do. I love it because you've got such a good surface. If you use your paints on it, if you use all different inks on it, you'll get some really cool prints. I've used it for backgrounds. So in here, they're really subtle.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not your focal image at all. You can pull them out. It can be a focal image, but I love that. It fills a page.
It does,
you know,
totally.
before you know it, I've done the brushos, I've done the beautiful alphabet, and it does. It fills that page. It gives you the detail. If you're into your layering, if you're into mixed media, your art journal, that is one you need to go for. It's stunning stamp, and they always sell out.
We do have queues on the phones. Whenever we have Carabelle, that's normally the case. 1.5 minute queues at the moment. We'll get to you as quickly as we can, but if you can order on the website, that will guarantee your purchase, and it will get to you shortly after Thursday next week, 8-day extended, because they are coming from France, OK? But that is going to be an absolute investment at $29.99.
Stunning, isn't it?
It is, I love it. And next we've got a couple of smaller stamps for you.
These are essential.
Yes. You've got...
Go on, soz.
That's all right.
I'm interrupting your day.
Don't worry about it. You've got your circles and you've got your squares, but it's almost like, it reminds me of like the Brighton Pavilion flooring and that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah,
Really
yeah,
lovely.
indeed. A little bit of Brighton. These are essential because these are your filler inners. These are the ones that'll add to your layers. These are the ones that'll, you can introduce a tiny little bit of colour in. These will match all the stamps that we've got on this show. These go with them.
Look at the price.
Don't go with so many. I know, I didn't know we had a Freedom price.
$11.99 is the price, or Freedom members, $10.79 delivered. So just over a tenner, and you've got two brand new Carabelle stamps. 389120 gets you both of those, the square and the rounds.
See, and these, as I say, filler ins.
Yeah.
So I'll have put a little accent. So when you just need something to finish your card, when you just need some extra detail, that's where these will come in. And I'm literally not using the full stamp. I've literally just touched the stamp down to add little layers, to bring in extra colour. I mean, that one, that's bringing in extra colour. But they're brilliant. I do use these a lot because for all your projects, they're a proper must-have for those two.
Now, it's not just stamps. We've also got some Carabelle stencils for you as well. Really gorgeous ones. Great images just here. And you can, of course, emboss with them if you want to as well. $11.99 the price. Gets you both of those. And they're 033032. Something, again, a little bit different. Really busy for these as well. And many of you, I know, just buy basically everything in the show because you love Carabelle to bits.
Yeah, it's, well, we're the same. Carabelle is such, they're cool. You know, they're cool. And this, I like this stencil because it's the open end. So it means you can create and you can be very, very specific with this stencil. They're both really beautiful. You'll use them for all sorts. They're stunning.
Now, am I right in saying you've used quite a lot of the Brushos colour on these?
Oh, I love the Brushos.
We love the Brushos. They're like little salt and pepper sellers. That's what basically they are, but they're full of pigment powder.
While you're doing that bit, let me get you some bits. Bear with.
So now, all of these little bottles that you can see here have got such concentrated colour in them. You just activate them with water, just sprinkle a little bit onto a card, spritz it with water, and it explodes with colour. And you get all these colours. There's 2, 4, 5, there's 10 colours, plus you get 4 brushes, and you've also got your Brusho thickener as well, all for just £40. £20 today on FlexiBuy, plus the P&P, and $19.99 in 4 weeks' time. 189278 is your item number for Brushos.
You need these.
You do.
I love Brushos. These make me very happy. I love watching the colour. I was doing this the other day. Just watching paint drip makes me a very happy person. But the colours are divine. They're really rich in pigment. These will last you years because you don't need much to create a phenomenal background. If you want to add sparkle, you can add your sparkle pens, you can add mica if you want to. The choice is yours. They're water-based, they move with water, they react with water. Look at that. We've got but we have got the rice paper on the show. I'm going to show you how to do that in the first demo as well. But they are really, really cool.
We've actually got the rice paper on the bottom of the screen if you want it. 20 A3 sheets for only $14.99. And again, we can't keep rice paper in stock. It always flies, always sells out whenever we have it. What Leslie Wharton does with Brushos, and you may well want to do the same, is she puts a pin, like a tack, in the top so that she can then just kind of use it like a salt and pepper pot.
Yeah, yeah.
You need the tiniest amount, you really do. If you take the lid off, you'll probably use too much.
I like sprinkling it with my fingers, but that means I get ink all over my finger, but I don't care, it makes me feel happy.
That's the main thing.
I must admit, do you know what? I started putting the pin in the top, I got bored, so I thought, oh, I can't be bothered with that, so yeah, I have got the patience of a gnat, honestly, but it doesn't matter how you use them, just don't use much, you don't need much. Well, I'll show you, because I'm going to use them in my first demo as well.
Okay, demo's on the way. Let's show you other things, though, while Leonie goes and gets sorted. We've got an accessory kit for Brushos as well. So here we've got, as you can see, water bottles, various different accessories. You've got watercolour paper as well. You've also got your water bottle as well, which is a telescopic water bottle. It just kind of pops up. It's great. All of that for $19.99, and wax sticks as well, so that acts as like a resist. 718970 is for all of that. And then another accessory kit, if you just want some extra brushes and a spray bottle, there that is, and that's $14.99. You've got a rigger brush, a size 6 and a size 10. Those are the brushes you've got there, and the water brush for £14.99. And that's down by £5.71. I'll see you a bit later, Leonie.
See you, Davey. Have a lovely time. Right, okay, I need to remember, I've got so many different layers going on here, so there's quite a lot to go through. It's this one that I wanted to do, just because there's a lot of different techniques. So, we're going to start, first of all, with that mega stamp. So, we're going to start with this. Isn't it beautiful? This is, again, A4 stamp. Now, I'm lucky I've got one of the big acrylic blocks. If you haven't gotten a big acrylic block, if you put it onto your glass mat or your table, whatever surface, and then pop your card over the top of it, you can stamp that way. I like the acrylic mat. The other thing you can use, if you've got one of your mats from one of your cutting machines that isn't bent, obviously, if you've got one of those, then it fits on there as well, because I was using the one from my my machine. I've forgotten my Gemini. Thank you, Lottie. Of course you know what machine I've got. I had a proper blank then. Okay, so I'm using the watercolour cardstock that we've got in that accessory kit. It's really nice quality. It's almost smooth. It's absolutely beautiful to work on. I have done all my different brushio backgrounds, and so I do call them brushios. I know they're called brushios, but I always seem to add a random I in a lot of things. Brushios, just because it sounds funny. So that's what I've been using. I've been using the watercolour cardstock. Okay, so, and I do apologise if I keep sniffling. I've got a little bit of a cold. So, I'm taking my Versamark first of all and just inking this up. I want to be fair, I mean, I'm trying to ink it properly and get good coverage. It's not a big deal because this is going to sit into the background. If we miss bits, if it's not perfect, it don't matter, it'll be right. But I'm going to try and get a decent coverage. I love the detail in this. I think it's beautiful. Like, you've got script in there, you've got little stars in there as well. If you wanted to, I mean, you could be quite specific, so you could actually pull letters out of this. So if you wanted to spell different words, you would have that possibility. So I've inked it up with my Versamark. The first bit of my demonstration is going to be really awkward because you're not going to be able to see much. Sorry. And it is because it's all white on white and clear, so I do apologise. Right, so pressing down. Now, make sure you press down all over the stamp. Again, it's not a big deal if you're, you know, if we are doing backgrounds, if you miss any, but I'm going to put even pressure like so. So hopefully I will have stamped something. This is a bit that you just hope because I can't see a thing. So now what we do, I'm going to put the embossing powder on. Now the first one I'm going for is your clear embossing powder. So I'm going to put my clear embossing powder on and just shove this over like so, and hopefully you will be able to see, yay, some of the embossing powder. Okay, there we go. So, I've just heard Lottie in my head. Not going to tell you numbers, but you need to check your baskets out. Because Lottie's just been phoning. Were you phoning buyers? Yeah. Phoning buyers going, so check your baskets out. I obviously can't tell you that bit just yet, because we're going to try and do something about it. But I would suggest if there's something you like, do it now. Otherwise, we might miss out. Okay, the grand alphabet that we've got here is now approaching half of the stock. So, what I've done, black embossing powder. Okay, now this was on yesterday. It might still be on the website. It was part of the ODS show yesterday because I borrowed lots of things. I should have borrowed more. I should have borrowed the adhesives, but I forgot. By borrow, you know. So, I've got my black embossing powder out. I'm obviously going to keep it away from my heat gun because I don't want to melt that at the same time. So what I'm doing is, I'm starting to melt this side, and I'm going to get a pinch of black embossing powder. And what I'm doing is, just literally, I don't want it covered, you see. I don't want all of it to be black. I want speckles. So as I'm heating, I'm just dusting. It's almost like just dusting a little bit of the black embossing powder on, just in patches. And that is going to allow me to just create texture. So it's not full. I'm not getting carried away. I'm not putting loads of embossing powder on. It's just hitting it. So as my embossing powder melts, as the clear embossing powder melts, can you see there? So if I sprinkle it, as it melts, it just sticks to the clear embossing powder and just gives it a tiny little, it's almost like a speckle. There we go. So I'm not completely covering this, and that's what I'm aiming for really, is just a light coverage. So just a nice coverage. So as I go on, just allowing it to touch, and the heat gun almost blows it as I'm sprinkling it on as well. I'm using the detailed embossing powder. Don't use your thick embossing powder. That isn't going to work for this. There we go. And just allowing it to melt. Do you like this on Howard? It's a bit different, isn't it? And I wanted this just because I wanted it patchy, you see. Because it's a background, it doesn't have to be perfect. But I just wanted a nice sort of patchy one. There we go. What do you think it looks like? Yeah. There we go. See, and I love that, you know, because you get in some parts that it gets a bit addictive, does this, though, I must admit. I like it when it goes a bit thick and then you can sprinkle it back off again. Just carrying on doing that. And the nice thing about this, because it's such a big stamp, it means that I don't have to worry about my card blowing away, because obviously I've got a nice big piece of card there. So there we go, as I sprinkle it. And you can see there's not much embossing powder. Like a lot of times if you do this, you get speckles absolutely everywhere, don't you? But because we're just aiming a tiny bit, and because we're blowing with the heat gun, it's not getting carried away. We're not getting like random speckles absolutely everywhere. So it's almost controlled, but it completely isn't. See, I like that when it goes a bit thicker. I think it looks quite cool. So nearly finished. The embossing powder does melt quite quickly. And I must admit, doing this, I forget my embossing powder melts quite quickly. And sometimes I do hang on a little bit more. There we go. Let me just have a see if I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. That's quite cool, isn't it? Now, our Patricia's emailed in. What's our Patricia saying? So, our Patricia says, how's the white rubber stamps with heat? They're absolutely fine, Patricia. Made in the same, it is a rubber stamp. So just like your grey, your red, it's still going to react beautifully. So if you're using Angelina fibre, something like that on it, it's going to be absolutely perfect. So go for it. This would be so cool. Like if you're sinking it into your molten embossing powders. Okay, so that's our first step. So it's got that really nice distressed background, which already looks cool. simple, but now we're going to go for it. We're going to go for our brushios. I kind of want to do just a really random demo. I'm just breaking it up a little bit, just to show you why I love this stamp as well. I am going a bit off piste. Look, if you take your inks, and this is not what I were aiming to do, but this is a reason why I love these big stamps, another reason why I love these big stamps. So I'm just taking my good old oxides here. So I'm putting a little bit of my oxide on, spinning it round, and put a bit more oxide on. Like this. Let's use one of the greens because I love the green. See, now, because it's such a fantastically big stamp, it allows me to layer all those colours. And I love that, because then you get this really cool background, which I just think looks stunning. Okay, now, so I've been ever so good with my oxides. They've been clean for such a long time, but now I seem to have lost it. Okay, now there we go. What would Tim do? He'd just wipe it off. He'd be fine. He'd be fine with it. Okay, so just give it a nice stamp like this. He'd just get a nice new one out of the pack. No, I don't need to wipe it off. Because he said about that, he said, like, don't worry about getting them a bit mucky. There we go, look at that, you see. Shall I spin it round for you? Isn't that cool? So, just one stamp, you've got all those different colours. If I spritz that now, I will be able to get, in fact, let's show you. I've really gone off piste, I do apologise. So, get your water spritzer, don't knot over your electric heat gun, and just spritz over the top of the stamp with water. We're using distress oxides, so just the distress oxides are going to react with my water. You can actually see the water on the stamp, so if you want to do a little bit more, you can do. That's just going to get it all moving. We are approaching 2/3 of the stock has now gone with this, so if you do want it, please check your baskets out. None of my cardstock is clean, but it's all right. There we go, pop that down. And then I'm going on the watercolour cardstock this time. Because I've done that nice watery background, I thought it'd work really nice with this. There we go. Now, look at that. How fab is that? We have got 2 prints from that one stamp. That is absolutely exquisite. Put that to one side. The other good thing about this is, okay, now look at that. That still looks good. I bet you still get a print with that. But spritz that. And then get your rice paper. Do not clean your stamp. Look, because put your rice paper over that. Not only are you going to clean your stamp, but you're picking up the print off your rice paper. Doesn't that look fabulous? You might not use it like that. All you're doing is picking up the ink. So clean your desk, clean your surfaces with your rice paper, because that you will use. Doesn't it look good? Rice paper, it always sells out. We are approaching half of the stock has now gone with that rice paper. If you want that, you know what to do. I love the rice paper. You can do so much with it. It's ridiculously cool. Okay, next. Brushios. Oh, I love these. These are ace. They're possibly one of my favourite products ever in the whole wide world. That's a statement, isn't it? But it's because they're just tremendous. And even just mix your colours up, just experiment with those colours. So I'll get out the orange because it's sat there. I'm going to get out, let's have a see. I'm going to get out, I'm not going to go for purple because purple's not one of my favourite colours. I'm going to go for moss green. I know I'm wearing it because I couldn't be bothered looking this morning, you know what I mean. So I've got purple, I'm going to use sea green. I've got orange, sea green and yellow. No, I want blue. Turquoise. Okay. Right, ready. So we are going to saturate this. This is the way I use them. And like I said, I couldn't be bothered putting holes in lids. You can put holes in lids and then you can just shake them. But yeah, I'm lazy. Howard, could you do me a favour, please? Could I pinch one of those little paintbrushes, just one of fine ones, if you've got one, please? Mine are all wet, so I can't use mine. About that size would be cracking, please. From any it sets, it don't matter. You want to use, thank you Howard, you want to use a dry paintbrush for this, or you can pick them up and sprinkle them, but I'm going to use a dry paintbrush. So all you want to do, and this is important, dip in and then you've got a tiny bit of brushio on there, right? That's all you need. You do not need a lot. And then all I'm doing is literally sprinkling it on. That is all. I mean, you can hardly see it. I mean, look at that. You can't see this. And this is what you need to do. Do not use tons of it. You can add to it, but you can't take it away. But the thing is that everybody says that, don't they? Where's it, Phil Morrison? I don't know. Was that a Phil Morrison impression? I haven't seen our Phil in ages. Where's our Phil? Where's Phil? Where's Phil? I miss him. Okay, so I don't know what's on there. This is why I like these, you see, because it's like a voyage of discovery. You never kind of know what you're going to get there till you're there. Okay. It's like my life. So, a voyage of discovery, or a voyage of absolute destruction. So, I move these out your way. When you're spritzing, get them out the way. You don't want to spritz your open bottles. That would be terrible. Now, get your spritzer. This is a spritzer in your accessory kit. So, right now, spritzer is this. To get your spritzers, and then I'm saturating it. So, start adding the water. You can see it moving. Oh, look. Now, that makes me happy. I love seeing the colours burst into life. I love seeing them all separate. I just think they look absolutely exquisite. I'm not worried about the card bending and moving, because that's absolutely fine. Not a big deal whatsoever. And just spritzing. Now, the thing is with this, it is up to you how much water you want to put on. You might not want to saturate it. Sometimes you won't saturate it. The choice is yours. Sorry, my nose. I do apologise. It's really hard demonstrating with your head lowered when you've got a runny nose. So I'm going to have a look what colours I've got on there, see if I want to add more colour. So what I'm going to do is actually go for my yellow, because I'd like something brighter. So at this stage, what I do, because I'm being specific, I'm going to get a tiny little bit and just start to actually drop it into the wet water as opposed to into the dry water. Sometimes the words I choose are rubbish. Okay, so just allowing that to sit in there. It could be grubby water. There we go. So let's have a little look-see. I'm going to add more because those bits, I can still see them. So I want to just break that up. So I'm going to break it up with more water. And that will allow those colours to move. Okay, now, next stage. So you've got lots of different colour going on. You've still got that background going on. Okay, next. So, fabulous background. It's really, really nice, and you've got all sorts of colour. This is now where you take your rice paper. Because what you could do, you could let that dry naturally, but if you take your rice paper, I'm going to fold it in half. Okay. Now, Nick has asked a question, how strong is a rice paper? How strong is it? Well, I have mopped up the table with it, which is really, I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, I am saturating this. That's folded in half. I'm saturating it, and I am not. This ain't gonna rip. It could rip, obviously. You know, it's easy to tear because it's very lightweight, which is why it's absolutely brilliant for your decoupage. But it's strong enough to hold that saturation. So what I am getting here is a print on there. Okay, that's one print. I'm going to put that to one side. So, yeah, you just hang it up. I must admit what I did. I had loads over my office chair. All around office. Bear with. Do you know what I was thinking of this morning at 4:30? I thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I had a little, you know, like a little clothesline with all my rice papers hanging? Well, that'd be pretty. I forgot to ask our Howard for that. What would you have said, Howard, if I'd have said, can I have a clothesline? Don't swear. Right, so that is still a little bit wet, but now look at those colours that have come through. Look at that blue. Look at the gorgeous, the yellows and the greens have mixed. Doesn't that look absolutely beautiful? That is lifting the excess brushes off. So we've got a print underneath and then we've got a print on the top because we're lifting off the excess. And that means you're not wasting any of that ink. I'm going to leave that now because I absolutely adore that. Put that to one side. We've got all this ink here when there's no way you waste it. So you now mop all that ink off your desk. You mop all that up. So that means we have got two fantastic prints from one, and you will use this. The other thing that you can do now, because you've got all this ink, I had our covered in ink yesterday, and it's because of this. You can, if you don't like getting messy, you can obviously wear gloves or something. That's up to you. I wouldn't do anything like that. You can then take 2 pieces of cardstock. This is just regular cardstock. Pop that in there. Now this is a light print, so I'm not quite sure if I'll get anything off this. So what I've done, I've got the tissue paper at the bottom, put 2 pieces of cardstock, tissue paper over the top, another piece of cardstock, and then squidge it. Okay, so squidge it down like so. And then let's have a little look-see. This might be a really light print because this was a lighter colour print. But see, look, you're still getting a print. So out of that one brush show application, we have got 1 print on there. We've got 2 pieces of gorgeous paper, rice paper, and then we've got these subtle prints on here. Very subtle prints, so you could layer it up. Because it's rice paper, we've got the, can you see the beautiful, I'll show you some more that I did with the darker ones, but you've got, can you see the mark of the paper? It looks really, really cool. So just there, you've got the mark of the paper. This is one that I really saturated, but you can see the mark of the paper, which I absolutely love. Again, you're layering all those gorgeous, gorgeous papers. You're layering it, but because it is rice paper, you're getting all that texture. So pop them aside. They're going to dry now. Like so. And these are the ones I have used for the other projects. So make sure you do pop them to one side. This bit I am going to take with my dirty cloth. Okay, so next we've got our gorgeous background. Now you'll see this one was a lot more intense, a lot darker. Again, different colours of brushes will give you a different effect, and you can see that utterly different effect. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to play with those brushes. Now I do need to dry this off and blow my nose. Yeah, could I have a break, please? Because if I don't blow my nose, it could get really nasty. We might start getting different effects that we don't want to do. Now, if you do want the brushes, the details are there for you. They are sensational. You need these. It's 189278. That's your item number. This is an incredible starter kit. You've got a gorgeous collection of colours. You've got the beautiful brushes, which are such good quality. You have got as well, you've got your thickener. I must admit, I never use that, but you will use your thickener, so make sure you pop that in your basket as well. They are absolutely fantastic. I think you need these in your life. Now I'm going to blow my nose. Hopefully you won't hear me. I might step away, and I'm going to hand back to our Davey.
OK, back with Leonie in a second then, but let's show you the fantastic Carabel stamps that are available in the show. They're all, remember, wonderful white rubber, and you know, you can use them in all those hot mediums that otherwise with polymer stamps wouldn't cope with. Rubber stamps you can. Let's go through them then and show you what you can still go for, because we've got Dancing in the Rain, which is what that's called. So you've got your clouds, and like Leonie pointed out earlier on, you can see the pattern that's in the clouds here. That's repeated in some of the other stamps down the counter. You've got your raindrops as well. And also those 2 wonderful verses. You've got Anyone Who Thinks Sunshine Is Pure Happiness Has Never Danced in the Rain, and You Can't Make a Rainbow Without a Little Rain. All of those from Bridget. They are just $15.99, and they're going really quickly. 8-day dispatch, remember, because they're coming from France for you, so they'll be dispatched next Thursday. 037213 is your item number for that one. The next one, Leonie loves her hearts. I'm sure many of you have got some of the hearts that Leonie designed, actually. These are from Bridget, though, from Carabel, and they look as if they've been kind of Zentangled. You've got lots of really intricate detail in those, and then you've also got that verse as well. I see your true colours, and that's why I love you, from the music of Cindy Lauper. Yeah, from the True Colours piece of music. Very nice. $15.99. They're all rubber fronted and foam backed, and they are 222038 if you'd like those, from Bridget Coopson. Then we go on to another heart, another couple of hearts actually, but this one has got the circular pattern punched into it. Also, you've got that lovely squiggle. Now, as Leonie quite rightly said, that kind of draws everything together. It links everything together really nicely. It's a bit of a random shape, but it's a very useful shape to have. And you've also got another verse down there as well. Follow your heart, but take your brain with you, which I think's great. And then there's the smaller stamp with the script behind it as well. So all of those, again, extended delivery, just £15.99, 232946. There we have our feathers. The feathers that are the peacock feather and a feather from another bird. I'm not quite sure what bird it would be, but who knows?
A raven.
I'm not a feather expert.
I'm not a feather expert. No. I mean, neither, Davey.
I bet you wear them, don't you?
What, feathers in my hair? No, only on Sundays.
On Sundays, on special occasions, I bet she does. So you've got your peacock feather, you've got your raven feather, there you go. Look, for $14.99, and that's 164822. $14.99, that one. Really cool, big stamps as well, that one. Good value for money as well, that. And so is this, with the background. Here you've got lots of different patterns going on. You've got musical notes, circles, Hessian. It could be any fabric, really. And then you've got your circles as well. And it's all linked together, look. One big stamp. But not as big as the A4. 138008. $14.99 for that one. But look at the size of this. Look at it. It's absolutely humongous. It's massive. My favourite stamp of the show, I think, is Leonie's as well. And what she did with it a few minutes ago with the brushes looked incredible. So there it is. It's a blank canvas, basically, because you can use parts of it, you can use the whole thing. If you need acrylic blocks to put this on, check our website. I'm sure we've got some in stock. But then you've got these kind of higgledy-piggledy letters of the alphabet, script in the background as well, and some kind of colouring in ideas as well, or ink colours to use. That looks amazing, doesn't it? If you load up those colours, maybe your oxides or your distress inks, that will look quite incredible. But again, use it with your mixed media too. $29.99, 124537, dispatched from Thursday next week, as are these. Now, these are really cool and really useful background stamps to have. You get both of them. One's got the circle pattern, one's got the square pattern. $11.99 is the price for that one. 389120. You get both of them, and they are all foam mounted as well. So give us a call for that if you'd like it. The lines have been very busy right the way through the show. Also, it's busy on the website too. Let's show you a little bit of a sample thing going on with these. There we are as backgrounds. And just using part of it. You don't have to use the whole stamp all the time, but really effective. Here again, it's been used in this one as well, I think. Yeah, together with the cloud designs. Lovely. So those two. And then the final thing we've got from Carabel are the two stencils. And these have gone very well as well. So whether you're, again, spritzing through them, inking through them, embossing with them, whatever you want to do with them, they're $11.99. You get both of them, and that's 033032. And don't forget the brushos. That's what gives you all the colour that's in the show today. And you've got 10 pots of brushos, all different colours. And I hope what Leonie's shown you is that you don't need very much, the tiniest amount, whether you sprinkle it with your fingers like Leonie does, or whether you just kind of put a little hole in the cap and kind of tap it like salt and pepper. Either way, a bit of this goes a long, long way. $39.99, and these were originally developed for the education system, for schools and things like that, because you get so much colour. They'll last you, like Leonie said, for years. 4 brushes, 10 brushos, and the brusho thickener for just $39.99, or it's on FlexiBuy, so you can spread the cost into 2 payments, just £20 today, plus your P&P, and then £20 in 4 weeks' time. 189278. Have you blown your nose?
Yeah, I'm sorted.
Good. Have a look at the website. There we are. That's everything in the show from Carabel. I'll see you at the end of the show, though. Back to Leonie.
Thank you, Davey. The nose is OK for now, but who knows where the nose is going to go. Who knows, indeed. Right. So if you are perusing the website, you're going to see all the goodies that we've got and much more besides. There are some beautiful, beautiful kits. I've loved prepping for this show because Carabel makes me very happy. So here we are. I've got got my base now, so ready to work on this. It is so different from the original one I did, and it's all about the colours. You know, the colours will change it every single time, and I love that because it is all hit and miss. You know, you don't really know what you're going to get. So what I'm going to do next is take those heart stamps. Now, the stamps that I'm using, I really like these. I just think they're absolutely exquisite. You've got that beautiful two lovely hearts. It's that swirly one as well. I adore that stamp. Such a simple idea, but so effective. And then you have got follow your heart, but take your brain with you. Absolutely. Be careful of that heart. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm taking that big stamp. I'm going to stamp in black. So I've got my Nouveau. And I'm going to ink this up first of all and stamp this one. I want it nice and juicy because I am going to do quite a nice stamped image. Now, look at your background. Decide where you're going to place it. I mean, it's up to you. You could go for your lighter section, you know, just choose whichever one you fancy. I'm going to go here. Now, what you will notice is, let's have a see, where am I going there, I think. So, when you stamp it, there we go, I'm putting on a lot of pressure, because I want to see that image. You think, oh yeah, but that heart falls into it. It does, but we've got the squiggles coming out, and I have already cut an extra stamp. So what I'm going to do now is taking that little line stamp. So I've got my nice wobbly one. Oh, will it just fit on that block? Just about. So I love this connector one. So this one now, I'm going to take ink up, and I'm going to allow this one to come off the edge. So it doesn't matter with this one that I'm going to stamp into that heart. So I'm going to stamp into the heart like so. So that's got my swirl coming off like that. Ink again, because I want it really nice and rich. I want it really nice and strong. So take it again. This time I want it coming over that way. So I'm again going to allow it to go into that heart. And I'll show you why in a second. So it's going over this way, and then I'm going to stamp it again. But this time I want it coming back round here. So it's just giving that lovely flow. Can I share? Oh, Howard's giving me a washing line. That's really cute. I've got a washing line. Can it stay up forever? Look, look, look. Oh, I'm going to have to do loads, aren't I? Right, by the show at 2 o'clock, I'll have that full. I'll set myself, my hands will be vile, but I will have a fantastic wash line. Oh, thank you, Howard. I'm going to do that in my house, I think. I love that. Doesn't it look gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, see, that's all you need for decoration, isn't it? A little bit of paper, and it looks divine. Okay, I love that. Thank you, Howard. That's really cute. So, is that one of the strangers' requests? Oh, is it not? I'll have to think of someone else then. Okay, so I've put my heart there. So what I want to do now, I'm taking my 3D glue gel. I've stamped another heart and cut it out. So this is why it didn't matter that I'm bringing that ink into the heart, because I'm going to pop this one over the top. Now, you'll notice the colour palette is exactly the same, because I stamped, you know, the printed paper that we made, using the tissue paper, I've stamped on that. So the colour palette is exactly the same as the background. You can mix it up. I mean, you can stamp on other cardstock. It is up to you. But I really liked that colour palette matching. Where my little my stringy bit there, I left it. It doesn't matter if that isn't even, because what I can do is just pop my other heart there. So that's sitting there. So I've got that lovely flow now. And then I've also done my sentiment. Now with my sentiment, I think I'm going to back this on a little bit of black card. And I have got a scrap of black card. I must admit, when I've done this, I've stamped it again on that cardstock. So this is a cardstock that I sandwiched in between my rice paper. and I've got the right colour palette. And all I'm going to do is just, I've cut it out really wobbly because it kind of fitted in. Now, because this is wet, it's still got a wobble on it. Don't worry about that. All I do, I leave it to dry for a little bit. It'll start flattening out a tiny bit. If it doesn't flatten out completely, you just use double-sided tape to stick it down. But don't worry too much about it being all wobbly. So then, what I'm doing with this one, I've cut that out, and I'm just going to back it onto black cardstock because that'll just lift it a little bit, and then I'll show you what this looks like. There we go. So I'm going to put that, I haven't decided where I'm going to put this yet. Let's have a look, see. So on my original one, I put it over here, which I quite like. Have a play. You know, it might be, no, I quite like it where I put it on my original one. I quite like it over there. So I'm going to have it just coming over there like that. Now, I must admit, with this, I want a bit more colour. I want a bit more zinginess to this one. So what you can do is, with your good old brush oil, so I'm going to take the orange, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of orange on my glass mat. Okay. I should put the lids back on because obviously me being me, I'm lethal. Where did I put my yellow? I'm going to take a bit of yellow as well. Okay, just pick up a tiny bit of yellow. Again, you don't need too much. As we know, though, I mean, any of the brush oil that is excess, I can easily pick that up with my lovely paper, and then obviously stick it on my washing line. Now, I'm taking a sparkle pen. So, if you want to add sparkle, this is a lovely way of adding sparkle. It's a clear overlay one, so there's no colour in it. It is just a clear sparkle pen. Obviously, it's not clear at the minute because I've been using it. So all you need to do is pick up your brush oils with it, and this immediately, because it's wet, is the sparkle, it'll activate your brush oils and it'll turn it into a paint. So now when I go on here, I'm going to get that fantastic like mustard yellow. It's more mustard than normal because my brush are a bit dirty, but I'm going to pop a little bit of the mustard yellow on there, try and get a bit of that off, and then some of the orange. And you can, if you want to, you can squeeze your sparkle pen, and that creates that beautiful orange, like so. I'm going to take off a bit because I'm getting a bit too much excess there, like that. See, so now we've really added some gorgeous colour to this, and of course it's got a little bit of sparkle as well, which I just think looks stunning. There we go. Now, I know at the moment you're not seeing anything on your screens. You can still ring up, you can still place your orders on the phones. If you do want to place an order, everybody will be able to help in our call centre because they're very good. Now I'm just going around the edges just to give that a sparkle as well, because once you've got a sparkle pen in your hand, everything ends up sparkling, doesn't it? And then what I'm going to do is just pop, I'm going to pick up some of the orange from there. Okay, and then all I'm going to do with my sparkle pen is just do that. So I'm picking up orange and just literally slapping it onto my scissors. What this will do, you're not just getting sparkly speckles, you're actually getting orange sparkly speckles. It's really, it's subtle, but it looks beautiful, and you will be able to see it in the light. See, now I'm happy with that. Now, before I mat it up, because all you need to do to finish this off is literally put it onto black cardstock. Now, I would, let's have a little look-see. It's nice that we've got overhead cameras here, because this is how you look at your piece. Look. As soon as you put it on black cardstock, look how that just comes together. Don't you think that looks phenomenal? I might be tempted, before I mat this up, I might be tempted just to cut it back a little bit, just to make it a bit smaller, bring that thing in. In fact, I will do that, so I'm going to cut mine down a bit. But I absolutely adore that. Look how different that is to that one. If I just slip that in again, look at the colour variant, how different it is. Same process, same principle, but a different colour palette changes the look of it entirely. You could have more hearts to it if you wanted to. The choice is yours, but it does look absolutely beautiful. Now, that's just some of the ways that you can use that fantastic colour palette. How much time have I got? Have I got much time? 4.5 minutes, is that it? Right, okay, with only 4.5 minutes. The other reason these are really, really cool, you know how I was saying about mixing up your colours? Let me just find a piece of card. Okay, best way to order is on the phones. We are having little issues. I do apologise. But yeah, get on the phones. That is the best way to order. These stamps, the other reason I love these stamps, look, you can go on. So I'm taking, you can go on with your ink, but you can go on with your pens and literally just scribbling onto that stamp. I know I'm running out of time, so I'm being really, really quick here. So just scribbling on that stamp. I've gone with the red, I've gone with the orange, and then with the yellow. And then all I'm going to do with that is take my spritzer, so like I was doing with the ink pad, but this is with your pen, and this is gorgeous. This is why I love these solid stamps, because now when I actually print, I'm printing over a lovely brushy background. Then can you see how solid that image is? I adore that. These are a lovely way of making backgrounds. So if you want to, you could just repeat print and get a really nice, look how sketchy that looks, a really nice sketchy background, just layering those up. They are the other heart stamps that we have got on the show for you. So those are there. Again, the best way to order is on the website, hochanda.com. Everything is working on there. It's just our bits that you see on the screen that are going a little bit wobbly at the moment. One of the other things, I'm not going to really have time, am I? One of the other things I've absolutely loved is stamping on here. Did you know if you stamp and emboss onto your papers? Sorry, no, I'll do it this way. I wonder if I have time. Have I time? Just do it, Leonie, and have a see. Okay, so I'll see if I've got time. Then, oh, I do apologise. Everything has gone a bit wobbly. Shall I just carry on then if it's all gone wobbly? Are we going to a break or shall I just carry on? I'll just carry on. Oh, well, I've got loads of techniques up my sleeve. We're safe. Okay, so what I've done, stamped with my distress, and I'm just going to go onto paper. See, I didn't know you could do this. Okay, so just stamp on to my paper, and then I'm going to cover that with gold embossing powder. Bear with. I hope. So I'll cover this with gold embossing powder. You might know this, but I didn't. Which I'm going to put here.